All right. So now the next thing we're going to be doing is Microsoft Excel. Okay. Now this is I just opened the Microsoft Excel. If you want to open it, you open it the same way I showed you. You just come to your start menu and look for Microsoft Excel, or you can simply find it here. All right. You see, I just started typing Excel and it just opened up here. All right. Okay. So when you open it, you will just see this spreadsheet. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you will see this as spreadsheet on your Microsoft Excel. All right. Now, in this, so the whole of this is what we know as a spreadsheet. Okay. All right. And then each of those is what is called cells. All right. While this one, when you highlight from here now, this is what that's the whole length of this is what is called rows. All right. While the whole length of this vertically is what is called columns. Okay. So when you go horizontally, it's known as what? Rows. When you go vertically, it's known as what? Columns. You understand? So this is column I, J, K, L, and this is column, 3, 4, 5, all of them. All right. Okay, now in an Excel document, you can have several sheets. So this is one sheet. That's why the name of the sheet is here, sheet one. Okay, when I click on this, it changes to the next sheet. I've switched to sheet two. This one is sheet three. I can even choose to add more sheet. When you click here, insert sheet, it just creates another sheet four automatically. And this sheet, you can also rename it. So just once you double click on it, you can change the name of the sheet. Maybe you just want to rename the sheet so that it will be more explanatory to you. For example, let's assume that this whole document is a financial document. So here you just say profit profit sheets. Okay. Now this one will now be expense sheets. All right. And this one, whatever, you can just say revenue sheets or total revenue or total income. We all know that income and profit are not the same actually. All right. And then you can create as much sheet as you want. All right. Okay. Now let's switch back to this first sheet we call profit sheets. So here, Excel is mostly used for uh organizing or creating documents in form of data. You understand? Okay, it is used for creating documents that tend to show you data. You understand? That's actually the basic use of Excel. All right. Though you can actually use Excel, anyhow you want to use it. A lot of ways to make use of Excel, but it's basically designed for data, especially data analysis, analyzing of data. You enter data in, different or in various forms and in various categories, depending on your need. Okay. So anything you enter on a cell is a data already. So if I say 2, 1, this one 5, these are data, you understand? I'm just entering them in my spreadsheet, okay? And this is HB, just whatever. So here you can just keep typing, all right? I can even type something that is so long in a cell and it's existing in one cell. If I switch to another cell, you see that it's not previewing here, all right? But when I switch back, yeah, it's existing here. All right. Just you don't need to bother about the fact that it's overlapped. You understand? So you might think, okay, this is existing in all of this cell at the same time. No, it's just existing in one cell. We'll still come to how to format the cells and all of this stuff when we start doing all of this stuff here on these options. All right. Okay. So that is it basically about your Excel, the spreadsheet, the cells, and the columns. Okay. All right. So now to navigate through your Excel, to manipulate the Excel, we will still have to go through all of these options that are here anyways, though most or some of these options here, we already discussed them in Microsoft Word, all right? So we may not have to like keep repeating them again, or we just keep moving forward, all right? So here you can see the same file tab. So I just click on the same file tab. You can see the same save. Okay, let me just bring down this. Yeah, you can see the same save as, open, close, all of this stuff, print, the same way it is in the Microsoft Word. You can see that. So you can just use them the same way we have already explained when we did a Microsoft Word. Now, next one is the Home tab. You can see this area that is cut, copy, format. You see that? The same thing. You can use it for copying and pasting. You see cutting and pasting. For example, I have a number here, 456 here, and I want to cut this number from here. Just click on cut. You see? Now, when you cut it brings up a highlight here. Now you go to the cell you want to paste it. You understand? And click on paste. You see, it has moved from here to this place. You can also do copy. So when you click on copy, you see the highlights, and you go to the cell you want to paste it and click on paste. Yeah, you see, and then you can click away or hit your escape to end the command. You understand? So you see, you already know about copy and paste. It will still remain at the original place and then also exist at the new place that you've pasted it. That's about copying and paste. All right. Okay. So and then about all of these font controls is still the same thing. You can change your font style here, the font size, the fonts grow and shrink, the color. Now this fill color here is used for filling in the cell. You see, now, I just highlighted this cell and clicked on this fill color and it filled it in, all right, with the color that has been selected. This is the yellow that has been selected. You can also pull down to select any color you want, all right? You see? Yeah. So, for example, maybe I just have a table. Let's just create a table and then I would say SN, that's serial number. Now this one is let's say food, all right, cars and houses. All right. So now serial number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So here we have food, and I want to start mentioning food. So rice, beans, yam, gari, cars, Toyota,
And then your
what other cars? Rolls Royce. All right. And then Lexus, whatever, you just any data you want to enter them, Mercedes, okay. And then houses, we have a bungalow or flats, paints, house, what else? Duplex. All right. Okay, so here, all right, so now assuming I want to color the heading of this a kind of table, you understand? I'll just highlight this. You see that? It's showing blue here. Okay. And you can also change the color of the fonts, you understand? And then you can make it bold, and then you can also grow it. Yeah. And then these are each of these columns and rows. You can expand or shrink them, you understand? So you just come to the column edge here. You just click on it and drag to where you want it to end. Understand? You can also shrink it back to just suit your appearance, how you want it to appear. You can see I'm just clicking on this and dragging them. You understand? Okay. So however you want to make use of it, you can. Okay. Here you can also manipulate the alignment, all right? The alignment, you can align an item, for example, this item, you can align it center or right or left, or you can also align center in terms of vertical, or you can also align to the top or to the bottom. You understand? You may not see any difference here because of what this cell is almost the same size with the contents of the cell. But when I drag it down here, you see that these items are aligned to the bottom. Now, if I align them to the center, you see what happens? It gets to the center. And if I align them to the top, it gets to the top, all right? So you can just, switch them the way you want. Now, the orientation, you can also change orientation. You understand? For example, this one, this rise, I just change the angle to rise. You can see how it's changing. You understand? So all of this, you can actually switch them to, what you want or how you want them to appear. Okay, so there are a lot of options here. There is vertical or text up, however you want it to look. The preview is already here for it to look that way. All right. Now, this next one is the text wrap. You understand? So this text wrap, it means that you want the content of a cell not to overlap its border. You understand? So you remember when I was typing this, I told you that this particular stuff is existing just in this cell. And if you go away from the cell, it disappears from this preview area. You understand? But when you switch back, it appears to show that this content exists just in this cell, though it's overlapping. So now here I can click on what text wrap. You see, it will all wrap. Now, when it gets to the edge of this, it starts to at the next line automatically until the whole text finishes. You understand? So you can also choose to what expand this. You see, as I expand it, it aligns accordingly. All right. I can put it at the center. All right. Okay. So here, that is it. Now here we have cell types. You understand? We have a types of data. You understand? There are different kinds of data that you want to enter. Okay. So most of the time when you just start up your Excel, it will show you general here. You understand? So it means that it's trying to accept general data, but you can actually format a cell to into a type of data you want to enter into that cell. Understand? So here you can choose that it's on general already. It means that it's accepting both alphabets, numbers, or you can just choose number straight away. Now I just highlighted on this. You see this? I highlighted this and then I selected number, meaning that whatever is here should be treated like a number. You understand? Okay. So it means that when I say that this is a number, I shouldn't go ahead and start putting in text here. Maybe because I wanna use that particular cell in a certain calculation or something. You understand? So you just put a number there. You understand? And then when you put a number there, it will automatically format it like a number. You can see I just put 5656 alone, but when I hit my enter, it added dot that's 0.00 after the number. So it added the decimal places to 2 decimal places, you understand? And here you can choose to reduce the decimal place and to here, or you can increase it to the number of decimal places that you want, you understand? Okay. Then assuming you have a long number here, okay, you can also choose to format it with the comma. That is, after every 3 digits, it gives you a comma, you understand? So depending on how you want it to appear, you do it accordingly. And then you can treat it as a percentage. When I just clicked on this percentage and it inserted the percent symbol here, you understand? So all of these are done so that you can be able to use it in a calculation as per your need, all right? Okay, now, these are conditional formatting, format as table, and several of these stuff. Now, I'm not going to bore you with this, okay? And all of this, you understand? So here, you also have a clear. You can just clear up, for example, you can clear what is in this cell. You see, because I highlighted this and just clear it up. But you can also do this with your delete button on the keyboard. So these are, all of the extra stuff that are here. Now, you can also find or sort or filter, okay? And also, you can also find and select. You understand? For example, if you want to sort, now here, for example, let's sort okay, let's just put in some stuff here. Let's say number 5, number 6, number 7. Okay, I'll say beans, um, um, corn, yam. I'll put in lettuce. Okay. Maybe putting something else here and something else here or whatever. Okay, and then this one I'm going to do legs and I'll put something here and then put flats here. All right. Now here inserting is used for inserting a certain kind of function or feature in a group of to a group of data so that you can use it to do some data arrangement, maybe in cases where you have a very large amount of data. All right. So here, once I select on this group of data, I can just put in my filter. All right. Now I've just put the filter here. You can see these arrow dots, these drop down arrows that just appeared here. Okay. Now with these drop down arrows, it's going to give me several options to sort this document or to filter this document accordingly. Now, when I pull down this, it shows me that when you click on this arrow, it shows you these options. Okay. Now it's saying sort from smallest to largest, or from vice versa, from largest to smallest, or sort by color. You understand? So meaning that you see that this is counting from 1 to 7. So I can rearrange this, I can resort this data by what? This option. So by default here is already arranged from the smallest to the largest, like in terms of the serial number. Okay, we are talking about in terms of this particular column, which is serial number. All right. So when you click on this and you click on largest to smallest, it's going to invert it. So when you just click on this, you see, so it just inverted the whole of this according to this condition of this particular what column. You understand? You see, so it resorted it from the smallest, from the largest to the smallest here. You see, so this yam was down, but now it's up because of what? Its serial number has come up. So everything in the row was affected. You see, all right. So you can also bring it back to how it was before, or if there is any other option, you can also do that. Now there are also filter. Now this filter, you can see that all of these serial number are checked. The boxes are checked. Now this shows that all of these boxes that has the serial number checked, the data of their rows are included in the selection. You understand? It means that they are all showing here. But assuming there are some that I don't want to show, which means I will uncheck all of them, for example, and let's leave only one and say, okay, you see, only the data with the serial number 1 is showing because of what? It's already filtered. So I've filtered off the rest. I can use 1 or 1 and 5. Let me now check 5. See, 1 is checked and 5 is checked. And you say, okay, see, 1 is showing and 5 is showing. All right. So that's about your sort and filter. You can also use a, now when you're done, you just click on this. You don't want the filter again. You can just clear filter and the document or the data will return back to normal. All right. Yeah. You can also remove the filter from where it is, just clear it here and off the filter. Yeah. All right. So then find, you click on, you just pull down this, it just opens up this a box for you to just type in what you want to find. So assuming we want to find some words in this document, all right? So we just type in, let's say we want to find rice. I just put in rice. So I'll just say find. You see, it just highlighted where rice is. So now if I click on this again, and there is another place where I have rice, it will still go there and what highlight it for me. So it helps us to easily find or locate certain data within a large a populated document that has a lot of data, understand? So you can just say flat. You see, it's showing here, and then I click next, it goes to the next flat. If I have more, it will just keep going to the next, and then you can just come here to replace. Assuming I want to replace or anything flat or a particular one with something else. Okay, so let's say let's replace the flat with cat, CAT. All right. So now I'll have an option to replace all or to replace. So now this replace all is going to replace anything flat. It's going to replace it with card. Or if I just want to replace only the highlighted one, I'll just make use of this one. Okay. So if I do replace all, yeah, you see, I just click on replace all and it has executed. You see, the flat was here and here. Now they have become card, CAT, you understand? All right. So that is it about this tab, the home tab. Now the next is the insert tab. Okay, so you see all of this stuff that you are able to insert in your MS Word is still possible here in Excel. Understand? So you can see your table, picture, clip art, shapes, smart art, and all of those stuff. Smart art and all of those stuff, you can actually insert all of this. Okay. All right. Then next is the charts. I'll just demonstrate a little bit of the charts. So you can also insert charts. There are a lot of charts here, bar charts, column charts, cylinder cones. For example, if you want to insert this chart, you just click on it. Okay, so let's insert a chart. But now, for you to insert a chart, you need to have some data because chart is used for what? Representing data. So assuming, let's say that this is the data I want to represent with this bar chart, okay? All right. Now I've highlighted this. Now let me click on this. All right. Now you see, it's coming up here, all right, as the chart. Now, this chart here, you can see there are no values here because this is just showing me the names, you understand? All right. So now let's now do a proper data that will really make use of this chart. For example, because chart is used for representing the value of data and their relationships. Okay. So let's just create another table. Okay. Let's say let's say this is let's say this is a profits table, all right? A profits table, okay? And we have a January, February, March, okay? And here we have 2005, 2005, 2006, 2007. Okay. So you see that this is talking about the months and this is talking about the year. All right. Okay. So I'll just put in profits table here. Profits table here. Now, this profit, I want it to, cover up the whole place here. Now, what I'll do is I'll come this place and click on merge. You see, now I've merged all these cells into one cell. You see, so that this profit occupies the whole of this 1, 2, 3, 4 cells. So if you just want to merge a cell, just highlight the cells you want to merge and click on merge. Okay, most of the time by default it is merge and center, but when you pull down this arrow, there are different kinds of merge, and then you can also unmerge. Now I've merged this one. Let me unmerge these. So unmerge cells, it has returned back to normal. All right. So this one, let me just highlight this, change the color to white, give it a bold, then grow the font. All right. Okay. So this is profits, you understand? And this is 2005, 2006, 2007. Now profits, let's say it's 1 million here, 2 million. And then this is 5 million, 1 million, 6. Okay. Then next is uh okay, 3 million, 4 million. Okay. And then next is a 6 million. Just you can just put in the data you have, you know. Okay. And then this one. Oh, okay. So now this is representing the various incomes or profits that is being made at each of these years by the months. All right. So now when I just highlight all of this, okay, when I highlight this, I can now insert a column chart here. Wow. Okay, you can see the charts is showing. All right. Oh, this the profit is here. Just let me just delete this one. What I want to represent is just the data. Okay. So just go to the insert column, click here. All right. So it's showing us a representation of this data. Okay. So it's showing us that in 2005, you see, this is the bar chart representation. All right. So this first one, when you click on this, you see the highlights. When you click on this, you see the highlights. When you click on this, it shows here. So you show that here, this is January, this is February, and this is March of 2005. And this is one is what? January, February, March of what? 2006. This one is January, February, March of 2007. You see? So this is the key here. This one represents January, February, March. You understand? So you can use this to what? Represent data visually. You understand? Because we've seen that in Excel, you use it for what, handling or editing or creating or managing data. And then with the charts, you can make use of the chart to what represent them visually. So when anyone sees this visually, they will now have a pictorial idea of the relationships between each of these data that you've put down here. All right. Okay. All right, so that is it about your chart. So you can also choose different kinds of chart. There is pie chart, bar chart. You can just explore any of this. All right. Okay. So next is what you can see the hyperlink that we did on MS Word is still here. The text box, header, footer, word art, all of these symbols, they are all still the same. So you can also always refer to the class on MS Word. That's Microsoft Word. Next is what the page layout. See, still the same thing that we've done in Microsoft Word. So where you can, choose different themes, margin, orientation, size, that's page sizes, okay? Select print areas and all of this stuff. So most of the time, you may not necessarily have to like keep changing all of this, okay? All right. Then formulas. Yeah, now we'll be talking about, we'll be doing a simple arithmetic on the Excel because you can actually use your Microsoft Excel to, perform some calculations, all right? And then also here in data tabs, as some, vital, information, but most of the time we just go out straight to make use of the data that we have directly on our sheets, okay? And then on the review tab, you have your spell check, as you know, you have your comments also. And then on the view, it still talks about the way the window appears. Okay. All right. So that is it basically about your Excel. Now here, I can choose to, insert borders on all of these. So I'll just highlight this and go to where I have my border. Just pull down this arrow. You have different kinds of border. So if you want to say all border, if you want to do only outside border or just a thick border or border bottom, for example, I just click on border bottom. It just inserted the border only at the bottom of whatever I've highlighted. You understand? Okay. But if you just say all border, okay, yeah. Now the highlight was here previously and the all border covered this, but this way I want to put the all border. Okay, you can see it's already here. So the last border you make use of mostly appears here. All right. So you can also put down this arrow to do that. So I just click on all border. You see, it gives border to all of this data. You understand? All the data cells. All right. Okay. I can also choose thick border. Let me just give it a thick border outside or here. Okay. You can see that. All right, so that is it about your Excel. All right. Now the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna, show you how to, you know, uh perform some little arithmetics with Excel. All right. Okay, now so Excel has already, been uh programmed or configured to help us, carry out some arithmetic processes, for example. Okay, yeah, we can still go back to this same. Yeah, let me now format this away from here. Let's just turn it up here so that it will appear how the rest appears. And let's put it at the center alignment here. Okay. Now here, assuming I have another column here that we just say total. Okay. So I want to calculate the total of each of this data and have them display here. All right. Now let me just remove this tick border. Uh-huh. Sorry. Click on this, yeah. And put it down. So I'll just say no border. Just remove all the borders. Even this one, I don't want the border. No border. All right. So assuming I have let me just zoom this in a little bit more. So let's go this way. Okay. So let's remove this border. So now I want to have the total of all of this. Okay, there are several ways to do that. So what I'll just need to do is I'll just put in my selection here where I want to have the total. So now, assuming I want to have the total here of all of these values, actually these three values, January, February, and March. Okay, I want to have the total here. All I need to just click here, and then to start up your calculation in Excel, just start with your equal sign. Okay. Now, when you hit your equal sign, now you define the function. Okay. Now there are several functions in Excel, but we're going to be doing the basic ones. All right. So now I want to sum up all the value from here to here from January to March for this particular column. Okay, so I'll now do equals sum, S-U-M, sorry, S-U-M, sum. Now, as you start typing, the functions will, you will see the highlights here. It will just show. Okay, so sum. Okay, sorry. So sum. All right. You now open your brackets. Okay, and then click on the first number you want, and you can actually just click it and then drag it down immediately, or you can just click it and then hold your shift and then start pressing the arrow down key. It will extend to the next cell and then to the next cell again, and then close the brackets. Now I just close the bracket and now hit my enter. Wow. So I just hit my enter. So now this is the total. Okay. So the total of this 1, 2, 3 showing me here. The same here. So equals sum. I open the brackets, select this, and then put it down and close the bracket. See, so it's giving me the sum immediately. All right, so I don't need to, like, it's so fast. This here, and then use my shift and arrow down and close the bracket and hit enter. See, so now I have the total of all of these values here. Okay, that's a way to do it. Another way to also do it is you can also do it one by one, depending on what you want. So I'll just click on equals, then I click on the number on the particular cell I want to add in the selection, and then add my what plus sign, you see, and add the second one, and then add my plus sign, and then add the third one, and then hit my enter. You see, I'm getting the same word total, the value. So which means here enables you so that you can what pick the values from different cells that are not sequential. You see that are not in sequence. Okay, so I can just say equals this one plus, then I'll just pick this one. See, it enters in the selection because this one is not coming directly after this. So there's no way I will just use my drag, because if I go through my drag, means that it's going to include these other ones in the selection, which are in between. You understand? All right. So I'll just hit my equal sign and I get the total. Okay. That is about the sum. Now you can also the same way do your subtraction. So I just want to maybe say I just want to do subtraction here. Subtraction. Okay. Now I just click on the number or on the particular cell. Oh, sorry, if this way I want the value, okay, I'll start with my equals, and then I click on the particular cell I want to start the subtraction with, and then enter my minus here, and then click on the next number or this next cell I want to subtract, and then I'll hit on my enter, and it shows the result here. Okay. Next, you can also do your multiplication. This one is multiplication. Multiplication. All right. Okay, so let me just expand this. Yeah, multiplication. Now I start again, enter my equal sign. So let me see the value that I want to multiply. I want to multiply this value by this value, or okay, it's going to be so long. Let me just put in a value here. Let's say like 6. Oh, sorry. Let me just end this one first and then put a value here, 6. So I want to multiply this by 6, by this value. All right. So I'll say equals this, and then I put in my multiplication sign. It is a star in your keyboard here. All right. And then click on the next one and hit on my enter. I see it has multiplied. 1 million by 6 is what? 6 million. All right. Okay. Or you can also do something like this. Okay, select the one you want to multiply and then put in the multiply sign. You must not become that the two values must not come from the data you already have on the sheet. You can now enter a default value by yourself. So this I want to multiply by what? 56, and then hit on enter. You see, it's 56 million. All right. Okay. Next, you can also do it to divide. You understand? Okay. So division. All right. Let me. So division. Okay. Let me just put it in here. All right. Okay. So division. You can also do division. All right. So I'll just put my equals and select this, and then put my division symbol over what I want to divide it by. Okay, let's say 6. Now, or this particular cell, where I just selected it and it's entered in the selection, and I'm putting my enter, and you see the results. Or I can just select it, just put your equals, select this, and put a division sign, and then use any number, any custom number to do the division, and hit on my enter, and this is the result. All right. So that is it about the basic arithmetic you can actually perform with your Excel. So you can manipulate this anyhow depending on your need and your want. So that is it about the Excel. So when you're done, you can just save your file the way we've talked about in Microsoft Word. You understand? Okay, so you just save the file to the location that you want in your computer or device. All right. So now, also one more thing I just want to show you about Excel in terms of sequence. Now, there's a way Excel operates. For example, I just want to start entering some number, and the number is so long. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, assuming you wanted to enter this up to 1,000 or 100, it's going to take you a lot of time to do that. So all you just simply do is you can start up the sequence, okay, and then you can just start up the sequence 1, 2, 3. Now, once you're done with this, just highlight this, and then you can see this little dot here. So put your mouse or your cursor over it such that once it changes, you see this bigger cross sign, or understand? Once it changes to the smaller one, you just click on it and then drag it down, and automatically it will start the numbering until wherever you want to stop, it's going to stop. You understand? You see, now I'm at 169. Now, when you release it, it gives you what you want immediately. You understand? Okay. All right. So when it detects your sequence, it will flow accordingly. So, okay, we are counting in what? So let's say we want to count in twos, like 2, 4, 6. Then highlight this and then drag down. It will continue the counting in twos to wherever you stop. You see? So it's all counting in twos here. You can see that 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, If you want to count in fives, depending on the sequence. Well, once it detects the sequence you want to start up with, it will proceed. Okay. All right. And then, but maybe if you have something like a text, like a rice, now, beans. Now, this one doesn't have a particular sequence because it's not a number. So it may not know the next thing you want to enter here. So if you do something like this, it will just keep repeating the sequence for you. Rice and beans, rice and beans, rice and beans again. You see? So rice comes here, beans, rice, rice, beans, yeah. Or if you just put in one, just like rice, it will just repeat the same rice all over. You see that? All right. So it depends on how you want to do. Maybe you just say want to have just the rice to fill the whole page or the whole column. You can just keep dragging it down to wherever you want to stop. All right. Okay, so that is it about the Excel, the Microsoft Excel. So it's very simple and easy to use for your data. All right.